magnitude of the win is very good for you guys, but it also is the first time you've come back from a goal down to get all 3 points. What does that mean for this club?
It's taken a long time, so I'm delighted that it's happened today. Circumstances weren't very natural or normal. Having a change of venue, it affected an awful lot of things. Travel, obviously the field and the quality of the surface, the size of the surface, but most importantly, I have to say some of the facilities here have been diabolical, and it's not right for top class professionals to be dealing with some of the things that we have today. But it makes the victory and coming from behind even sweeter. So I have to say, in adversity sometimes you see the best of people, and we have in our group today.
Maybe some unconventional goal scorers, particularly Kosuke, but also Ken as well. How nice is it to know that you can get scoring from that back line in addition to some of the top forwards that you guys have?
Yeah, it looked for the world like it was going to be one of those games where creating clear moments was going to be difficult. I thought we had some very good passages of play in the first half and failed to contend with the surface and get the right quality of final ball, cross or entry pass. And then of course with their first attack, they get in behind the back line, and I need to see it again, but I thought it was actually a little bit soft. I thought the lad went over. I'm not sure how much contact there was. And in all fairness, if the referee feels as though there is contact there, then I wouldn't mind thinking it's more than a yellow card. So he must have been in doubt as to what had actually happened there. The response was fantastic. And it took guys from different areas of the field, as you said, to come up trumps.
You guys went with kind of that odd man back line again, the 3-5-2, 5-3-2, whatever you want to call it on a given day. Was that field, was that kind of the game plan with what you saw Bethlehem was going to do?
I'd set up to play with wingers, wide players. Thursday the game was changed. Whatever the reasons are, it was disappointing. We were looking forward to going and playing at the main stadium. Some of the footage I'd seen there had really lent itself to playing with wide, dynamic individuals, and I'm sure we could have taken advantage of that. What we didn't know was what this surface or the field was going to look like. As expected, it was under the dimensions that had been given to us, which again is bitterly disappointing. It's under 68 yards wide. I wouldn't expect an under-12s team to be playing on a field like that, and we've got to go out and produce quality soccer. And likewise them, I'm sure it's as difficult for them as it is for us, but it's not my problem, it's their club that are trying to deal with this. So I ended up thinking that maybe the best route forward was to make sure that we were in the right sort of shape and mindset to come and deal with whatever we were going to run into. And I think that shape gives us a little bit more stability to start off with. As it happened, it also gave us some really good opportunities. So, it's a bit of a breakout game for us in a 3-5-2, scoring 4 goals.
You guys got, like I mentioned, unconventional scoring. How nice is it to see? Obviously, Kosuke is a guy that you've been with over the years a lot. How nice is it to see him get on the scoreboard, even if it's kind of a little bit of a garbage goal, a little bit, I would say. Rebound.
Any goal's a good goal. I think the last time Kosuke scored was in the semi-final of the 2010 playoffs, when we obviously went on and won it. And he's got a very important goal against San Jose in the semi-final at home. That was a long time ago. That's how prolific Kosuke is, but I'm sure he'll be just as pleased scoring today as any other time.
What does it mean for you guys going forward to kind of be able to get this road win and kind of build towards, the back 2/3, half of the season-ish?
We're not far away from that halfway point now. Looking at some of the results yesterday, the league continues to throw up some very competitive and small margin results. Tampa have obviously lost their unbeaten run, which you might have guessed would happen at some point, but it'll be interesting to see how they react. But all in all, it is an incredibly tight league. There are 2 or 3 teams that are on a really good run, Carolina being one of them. New York continue to to find attractive and attacking play, even with young groups. And we're on a good unbeaten run ourselves, and I'm including in that the Open Cup game because we didn't get beat in 90 minutes. We got beat on penalties, so I'll try and keep hold of that. But nevertheless, it's an unbeaten.
So you've calmed down about the finishing from that one since.
Not necessarily, but I'm looking for a silver lining. It's an unbeaten league run. The longer that goes on, the better, of course. It gives confidence to the group. And it's never easy away from home. I think we're one of the top sides away from home at the moment. It is important that we turn the screw and find better form at home. But I'm seeing a lot of positives in the group. Most of all, the attitude. It wasn't easy today. They are a very capable side. Connor made 2 or 3 excellent saves in the second half to keep them, at arm's length. But the attitude to come away and perform in difficult circumstances and to really be adaptable enough to get the job done is my most pleasing aspect of the day.
That's the last thing I was actually going to ask you about the game itself rather than kind of the big picture. Connor did have a couple great saves in the second half. I think he had one in the first half too. What does it do for you guys to know that you can kind of rotate keepers a little bit and have utmost confidence in either guy?
I said it before, I've got 2 first-choice goalkeepers. I hope, and it seems to be at this point, that we've got ourselves in a position where both of those guys are comfortable. They're getting enough playing time to stay sharp and stay engaged. Their form tells us that. Both of them have performed to a very high level when they've been called upon. So at this moment in time, I'm able to keep the team moving well and the players mentally comfortable, whilst I'm sure both of them feel as though they'd love to play a little bit more. But that is the difficulty, and it's not just in goal. There are plenty of other positions in this group where we have calibre players that part of my job is to make sure we have the best team on the day, but also to keep those players inspired and in a good place, because at some point, as you've seen, the rotation and for whatever game we play, the bodies that are needed need to be ready.